you this other story, which should be some good news for us if you are a Ghanaian, because Groupe Nduom has announced the completion of a transaction to acquire a bank, not here in Ghana, but in the United States of America. Groupe Nduom becomes the new owner of Illinois Service Federal Savings Bank, known simply as ISF Bank. The U.S. regulators approved the deal yesterday. President of the Groupe Nduom, Dr. Papa Kwesi Nduom, joins us now on the line via Skype from Chicago in Illinois for a chat on this great news. But before then, let's speak to him and find out how successful he will be with this new adventure and how we can get this from his history. We can now speak to him now. Good day to you. I'm sure it's sometime in the morning in Chicago, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And good morning to you.
Okay. It's afternoon here, so I guess the greeting to us will be good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, then. So, great news. We're learning that Groupe Nduom has been able to acquire a bank in Illinois. Tell us, first of all, what has informed this new venture you're looking at?
Well, as you probably know, I lived and worked in the U.S. for quite a long time. So I know opportunities in the U.S. just as I know opportunities in Ghana and in Africa in general. And we've always thought that the African-American community in the U.S. with more than $2 billion purchasing power. Well, not $2 billion of purchasing power, but actually there used to be over 50 African-American owned banks in America. Now it's down to 19 because a number of them have failed, which means that there are several African-American communities in the US that do not have banks. And therefore, there's an opportunity there. So we took advantage of this to go into Chicago, take a look to find a bank that we can acquire and therefore create an opportunity. And this bank is a national bank, which means that we can operate it and do business anywhere in the U.S. in addition to Chicago itself. So it provides us with an opportunity to extend our services and take advantage of the huge African-American and the general banking population that is in the U.S. and help us to grow our technology, to grow our methods, to learn some new things, which we can then translate into business opportunity back home in Ghana and West Africa.
Okay, now for this new venture and for this new bank that you've acquired in Chicago, some would want to find out what the fine details are. How much did you have to spend for this one?
Well, you know, it is not the money that is important. Let me actually tell you what is important to us as a group. We have always preached discipline, doing the right things, paying our taxes, meeting the requirements of the regulator, and so on and so forth. So this one, we think is priceless because, you know, the scrutiny of the equivalent of the Bank of Ghana in the US, which is called the Office of the Controller of the Currency. They put us through such scrutiny with everything that we've done in the world, anywhere in the world, that we feel exceptionally proud and lucky and blessed that we are able to pass the scrutiny. This is a bank that currently has assets of over $100 million. And therefore, we believe that it provides us with the foundation to grow it and to make it become a significant financial force in the U.S. And then, as I always say, translate those gains into opportunities and financial benefits back home in Ghana and West Africa.
Okay. Now, many will look at you and say, Dr. Nduom is a man who has an eye for business and for investments wherever he goes. And you made it clear that your business spans beyond Ghana and also in America. We know of your banks in Togo and other parts of the African continent. For Groupe Nduom, what's the big plan here? What do you intend to do which has made it possible for you to acquire these properties and have banks dotted across the world?
Well, you know, when you're into the financial sector, particularly into banking, you are able to accumulate assets that can then drive other acquisitions that can drive job creation opportunities. And then if they are successful, then you can also spur on development in general. So our belief, let's say in Ghana in particular, our belief in Ghana is to build the largest retail network in the banking industry, go to a lot of the places where the development is lacking. And so next week in particular, we will be commissioning our big office in Wa, and it will then signify that we have brought banking to every district in the poorest region of Ghana, Upper West. It's a development approach, and that's what we aim to do, is to use the financial muscle we gain to then encourage and promote development. That's our aim, and we want to spread it wide and far. And by getting into areas such as the US, where the currency is strong, then we build and maintain our purchasing power, and it does not depreciate as, for example, the city might do. So it helps us balance our portfolio. It makes our asset base stable, and hopefully it also helps us to gain and helps us to stay in business for a very long time.
Okay, is this a kind of trail you're blazing for the banking sector in Ghana that other indigenous Ghanaian banks should also be emulating?
Well, we believe that if we do this and we do it successfully, then other people might want to do it. This represents the first time an African investment group has acquired an existing bank in the United States of America. And this bank is over 80 years old. Now, let me also add that indeed UBA does have a branch of UBA Nigeria in New York City. Okay, so I just want to add that very quickly, because they have been there and they are there. We are the first only in acquiring an American-owned bank, and this one, what we tell our colleagues is that if we do our work well in Ghana, just as people leave America and come to Ghana, or leave the UK and come to Ghana, so can we also become strong in Ghana and extend and go and do other things in other countries. So today we are working a bank in Liberia, and we have taken Ghanaians to go there and be the leaders. So we can also conquer, if you will, new territories. And we believe if we do it successfully, it should give other people the right motivation to do well at home and then go elsewhere.
Okay, all right. So with this plan, and you mentioned earlier that it ties into what development should be in the country. You've rolled out what you call a 10-point agenda and vision for this country, Ghana. Give us a bit more insight into what this plan is and what you seek to achieve with it.
Well, very quickly, the 10-point agenda is all about change. It's all about bringing development. It's all about prosperity for the majority of Ghanaians. And it begins with offering incorruptible experience and qualified leadership. That's the bedrock of this 10-point agenda. And let me just quickly mention one or two or three of the items there. Number one is we believe we want to change the Ghanaian constitution to make it possible for people at the local level to elect their own district, municipal, metropolitan chief executives, so that they can become accountable to the people, and through it, emulate the example of people in New York, in Cape Town, in Dakar, in London, and elsewhere, who through the election of their local leaders have spurred on development at the local level. And then we believe that we should create a market in Ghana for our own entrepreneurs, our own business people, by legislating it, by making it more difficult for others to come and compete with us, but most importantly, by using government's purchasing power to buy the goods and services that we produce right here at home in Ghana. And then we feel that every Ghanaian child must be educated. And so we offer free, continuous, compulsory education from kindergarten all the way to the end of senior high school. Because in this world today, without a senior high school education, there is not much that you can accomplish anywhere, including in Ghana.
But Dr. Nduom, just to interject, for that particular point on F-Cube and making education the most important thing right now from the kindergarten to secondary school, that's already happening, isn't it?
No, it is not happening, my friend. Many people talk, many people say it, but nobody in Ghana, not President John Dramani Mahama, not Nana Akufo-Addo, none of the leaders in Ghana is talking about free, compulsory. You know, that word compulsory is powerful. Nobody wants to say compulsory because compulsory brings a lot of responsibilities. Compulsory means every child, boy, girl, blind, whatever it is, every child must go to school, and the state has a responsibility to make it happen. It means having more teachers. It means building more schools. It means cutting off all the wastes and ensuring that we can fund this successfully. So people talk about it, and yes, part of it is in the Constitution because the Constitution stops at the basic level. We are carrying it to senior high school level, and we're not just saying free, we're saying compulsory. We're also saying continuous because we don't believe in this basic school examination that has become a problem for many people in Ghana. We say continuous because we believe everybody needs to sit in a classroom right from kindergarten until they reach the age 18 in Ghana. So there are some differences, but they are important differences. For me, if it wasn't for education, a boy like me from Elmina wouldn't be where I am. So that is dear to me and definitely dear to the political party, the Progressive People's Party, that I am a part of. And I also want to say we want the Ghanaians in the diaspora to contribute a lot to Ghana. And so we want to give them some privileges. They must vote. They must be able to hold important positions in Ghana. I was one of them. And what if I was prevented from doing a lot of the things that I'm now doing in Ghana? So I believe we have gems in the UK, in the US, in France, and so on and so forth. So making the diaspora welcome in Ghana is part of this 10-point agenda.
Okay, and it ties in perfectly with the discussion we've had this morning here in Ghana about a group that's seeking to sue the Electoral Commission on the ROPA, which is yet to be implemented. Is that a position you also share, that also should be rolled out this year?
It's way overdue. And as a matter of fact, if I'm able to get in touch with this group, I will help them fund their campaign because it is a necessary campaign. We need to bring these talents that are hiding elsewhere back to Ghana because there's a wealth of experience there. If we make them welcome, if they participate in governance, if we can help them also gain positions, a lot of them have money, they have the experience we need, and we shouldn't throw them away. We should welcome them, as I was welcomed when I decided to come back to Ghana.
Okay. Dr. Nduom, thank you so much for speaking to us today. Congratulations on this new feat you've chalked in business as an entrepreneur for Ghana and also for yourself.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's Dr. Papa Kwesi Nduom speaking to us live via Skype from Chicago in Illinois in the United States of America, giving us the details of what this new wave or new step in his business is for him, acquiring a national bank in Illinois, the state of Illinois, in the United States of America. Now, we know that this is only one of the many businesses that the Groupe Nduom has across the globe in Africa and also now in the United States of America. We know that for the financial industry alone, the GN Bank is one of them, the First National Togo, First National Cote d'Ivoire, GN Reinsurance, GN Life Insurance, Gold Coast Fund Management, Gold Coast Brokerage, among the like are some of the companies that you can look at. That's even for the financial sector alone. For media, of course, they have the First Digital TV, Today newspaper, DigiCut Advertising, and some radio stations across the country. And the investments span so many areas. You can talk of the hospitality industry, the industrial sector. They have quarries, concrete products, motors, electronics, logistics, printing, technology, power, you name it. Even in education, there is a school that they've built, the Monica York School, the Nduom University, the School of Business and Technology, the GN Learning and Development Center, the Almina Community Library. I tell you what, the list is endless when it comes to the investments they've done in various sectors of not just Ghana's economy, but the African economy. And now they're looking to spread their wings and not just become a national entity as a group, but world competitors as well. This is some good news that we should celebrate, not only because he's a man who started with the political hand, but also a businessman who is seeking to push the frontiers of business for Ghanaians, not to stay within, but also seek greener pastures elsewhere to build development for this continent.